world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Max here on Borderlands video, and today we are talking about the Smog. Now, the Smog SMG was one of the weapons that was buffed in the most recent hotfix, getting damage increases to both its base damage and to its damage when its shield is active. Now, the Smog is a drop from the Guardian Takedown from the final boss, Scourge, in the Guardian Takedown, making this one of the hardest weapons to get in the game. And prior to this buff, it really wasn't worth using and it wasn't worth getting. Now, I think it is absolutely worth it. There are some weird intricacies with this weapon that we're going to be explaining, the characters that it works best on, and everything you guys need to know. Now, the Smog can come in any element and non-elemental, and the mechanic with this weapon is that when your Hyperion shield, because it is a Hyperion weapon, is active and at max capacity, you are going to get increased damage. Now, post this buff, when your shield is at max capacity, you are going to be getting around slightly more than 3.5 times the damage. That's a big damage increase. Now, one thing to note is this damage is not technically amped damage. It is just an increase of the weapon damage, which it would be a little bit better if it was considered as amp damage, but it doesn't hurt this weapon. The main reason for that being amp damage versus gun damage is how it works in the damage formula. However, this weapon is still really great. That little change is kind of holding it back from being the absolute best SMG in the game, but it is still awesome on Amara. I've absolutely been loving it on Chaos Queen. I've been loving it on 5G Flak, and I've been loving it on Shane Zane as a new top tier SMG. Now, the reason this thing is so good is because it's got really high base damage, it's got solid fire rate accuracy, but when you are shooting with your amp damage, it does a ton of damage. This thing is very, very strong now, and when it's not getting that amp damage, it's not great. Having that amp damage is really, really important. Now, there are a few things to note about this. One of the most important things that when I made a video on this originally, I didn't know, is that when you kill enemies, you are going to get your shield to recharge. So the faster that you can kill enemies and the more times that you can stay at full health or full weapon shield, you're going to be able to get the most out of this weapon. Now, one important distinction is taking damage does not equal your shield getting drained. So if, for example, I self-dot or I throw a grenade at my feet or anything like that, and I have the gun out, that doesn't mean that the gun's shield will deplete. I can still, while self-damaged, I can still get full amp damage on this weapon, which is super cool. What does deplete this weapon is taking damage to the shield while it is out. Just a little clarification for you guys to know. Now, today we're going to be running it on the Chaos Queen build. One thing to note about this is I'm not going to be running Ties That Bind. People get upset at me and say it's just Ties That Bind, so we're not going to be using Ties That Bind. I'm going to be rocking Eternal Fist, just showing off, and we also have some gameplay of Flak. Flak works really well with Stackbot, and this thing, or Bounty Hunter and Fadeaway. It does a ton of damage there, and this weapon also works well with Zane, the barrier chain Zane build, because you're not taking damage and your barrier is going to alleviate any damage that you would be taking. You basically get to use that weapon without ever taking damage. So see how I just got shot there. Now I lost my shield. Got the shield back because we're killing things, and we're going to start phase grasping stuff and get into it. But I really, really enjoy this weapon. It's not... I don't think it's the best SMG in the game, but I would put it up there, top 3. Now, it's really, really hard to get from the Guardian Takedown. Absolutely. And I will be dropping a save file for PC versions of this in the Discord if you guys want. to get some save files for the PC. Or if you are Xbox or PS4, you can join the Discord, and we'll have trades going on for it, because it is a lot of fun to use. It isn't the best weapon in the game because of this losing its damage, and when it's lost its damage, it doesn't do great work. But, I mean, that's rad on armor. You can already tell we're doing great things. Now, this works really well on Zane as well, because Zane gets playing dirty. Flak can use this thing with 2-Fang because it is a single shot. And Amara gets really great use out of this because it's pretty high single target bullets, which will, when they proc indiscriminate, do a crap ton of damage. Now, obviously, this would be performing better with Ties That Bind, and we can use that. I just wanted to showcase that you can still kill things just fine with just this weapon without Ties That Bind Amara's scaling magic that makes her truly broken. But yeah, this weapon's a lot of fun. For Anointments, for Amara, I'd recommend consecutive hits on this thing or 100 ASZ. For Flak, I would go 100 ASZ or consecutive hits. And for Zane, Sentinel Cryo on this thing is awesome. Now, the clone doesn't seem too great with this, so I definitely think it's a little bit better of a Zane weapon to use. But all around, it's great. On Moze, you don't need this weapon. Moze has the flipper, and she just works so much better with splash weapons. While it does do work on Moze, I just think that there's a little bit more better optimized options. As you can see, so I took damage there, but I didn't have my weapon shield out, and so it wasn't any damage to the actual weapon shield. So if I'm going to take a few hits here, and then I start firing, I can still get that amp damage. It doesn't have to do with damage that is done to me. It is just about the damage that is done while I'm shooting. So, for example, if I was going to use Ties That Bind now, I could take some shots, take some damage. When I do get Ties That Bind up, try not to die, get everyone up in the air. Then I can kind of avoid that damage. I got hit by death, which killed me, and I'm dead. But you can kind of use this thing strategically to do a lot of damage, which you can't say for a lot of guns. So I do enjoy that little bit of a playstyle. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry that I died to death there at the end, but definitely recommend this weapon. It's a cool one. I like the mechanic of it, and it's great to use. Alright guys, that's it for the video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.